This conference will now be recorded.
The Happy Trails Board of Directors, April 10th, 2025 board meeting is now called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, roll call. Jennifer Ellswick, Board President.
Here.
Cindy Evans, Board Vice President.
Here.
Cliff Giroux, Director. Here. Fred Rand, Director.
Here.
Greg Sherman, Director.
Here.
We have established quorum. We have 5 board members present. Homeowner statement period. In-person speaker may speak for no more than 2 minutes. If attending virtually, please mute your audio. Please use that chat option for your questions. Please use the chat option for your questions. Comments should be addressed to concerns of the motion before the board takes formal action on an item under formal discussion on the table. Negative comments directed at residents, employees of the association, or board of directors will not be allowed. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 13th board meeting?
I motion that we move that the minutes be approved from March 13th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Financial report. I see Dawn up on the screen. Dawn, would you like to start?
Yes, absolutely. So you can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. As of February 28th, the cash in the operating was $923,607. In the reserve, $3,835,483. Activities, $293,822. In the clubs, $155,775. In the asset improvement, $1,246,321.
Is that current, Dawn, or January?
That's February.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the January financial statement?
Yes. Sorry, I keep forgetting. I, Fred Rand, approve the financial statement for January.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to approve the February 29th financial statement?
I, Fred Rand, approve the finance statement for February 2025.
Do I have-
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. February 20, pardon, I read February 28th. Thank you. I want to thank you because you noticed something else before for me. Thank you. Committee reports. Bill Powell. Bill, are you on screen?
Bill said he didn't have a report to give today.
No report. Thank you. Building Grounds and Maintenance Committee. Tim, are you here?
Tim Garrity, Lot 173, BGM Committee. We would like the board to approve a amendment to the contract we have in place to re-roof NC2, the third part of Town Center. It also covers the villas, pool area, and the by the flags. The gazebo. The gazebo. Thank you. Running out of words. And to cover a increase of 25% in the cost of the metal materials because of increased costs. So we would like an approval for not to exceed $60,000 to do cover the increased costs, and in addition to re-roof the foam portion of the cascades, which is starting to leak. And also we're getting some leaks over the mailroom, and we'd like to redo the whole foam roof over the mailroom rather than trying to patch it, especially since we just re-roofed that section of Town Center.
Okay, and that is on the agenda to be approved. That motion is on the agenda to be approved.
Oh, well then, never mind. Thank you.
Communications Committee, no report. DRC Committee, no report. Golf Course Committee, Lisa Day. Lisa, will you provide an update, please? Does anyone else? Okay. Safety Committee, Dave Greider. Landscape Committee, oh,
I'll fill in for Dave Greider, Barb Fugelberg. So in your packet, we have the monthly report to the board. Did you want me to read that? Okay. Okay. So you've got that in your packet. The first thing that we request is the approval of membership terms for Jack Beshen, Andrea Slocum would be renewing members for 2 years. Doug Doty would be a new member for 2 years, and to add Bob Pearson as a non-voting member.
We do that, have that on the agenda to be approved.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, and then the second thing is that we do have later in your agenda an action regarding the specifics regarding the ad hoc committee signage. Okay. Any questions for the safety committee? Thank you.
Greg, this is your motion.
We'll do the updates first and then we'll go back.
Okay. Okay. Landscape, Vicki?
It's on. Okay, I just more or less wanted to give the residents an update on what we've been doing, because I know a lot of people had said that the fountain's still the fountain. So anyway, hi, I'm Vicki. I'm the Landscape
Vicki.
Committee Chairperson, and I just wanted to let you know what we've been
Vicki.
doing.
Face us. Face us. They can hear you.
Huh?
Face us.
Oh, okay. Well, since I was talking to him. The Landscape Committee has been working on with our landscape architect to finalize plans for the town center and fountain. We will be adding additional trees for shade, a covered area for the bands, and also a gas fireplace. Hopefully, we will have a final plan soon. I would like the project completed by November 1st, which I have been told that that is being very optimistic. That doesn't stop us from trying. After we finalize plans, a computer-generated program will be available for all the residents to view. If you want to help with the landscape committee design and with the what we're doing, you're welcome to join our committee meetings. They're open to everyone. Also, the BGM committee has asked the landscape to select colors for the resort buildings. We have hired a consultant to update our resort. It's a project that makes a huge visual impact, so we want to get it right. Any questions? Okay.
Any questions from
Any
the
questions
audience?
from the crowd? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vicki. Club Reserve Fund Committee, is Sandy here? Thelma, would you like to say anything? Debbie Luther will be speaking for the Club Reserve Fund Committee.
Which I was just handed, so. Okay, so I'm Debbie Luther, Lot 859. So the Club Reserve Fund Committee received 7 club funding requests and completed 6 review reports with recommendations. The last is waiting for additional documentation. The summary report schedule submitted to the Board of Directors lists each club's requested funding compared to the BOD chartered and non-chartered club funding policies, the matrix, and listing the Club Reserve Fund Committee's recommendations. I should have read through this. I could paraphrase. Our committee would like to thank Bill Powell, Finance Committee Chair, and Steve Farling from BGM, whose input was invaluable in analyzing each request. Other report information is provided by the committee's 2-member field review teams who interface with the club and performed on-site visits of the proposed projects. Ultimately, the committee recommended that funding sources other than the club reserve funds were more appropriate for the requests received, but we look forward to assisting the HT clubs in the future. Now to make sense of that. So we're a brand new committee and we spent a lot of time with procedures and coming up with forms and things like that to make the process even and consistent for every single club. So each request was ran by BGM or maybe Brad or whatever to determine if they fell under the club funding or if it would fall under something that the resort should be either maintaining or replacing because for whatever reason. So in the process of doing all of that work, each club request, we had 2 people go research it, meet with the officers of each club, and got further details on why they needed it and get clarification so we knew what we were talking about. And like I say, during that process, it became clear that all of the requests, a couple were withdrawn and the rest were determined that they were either should be funded by reserves, funded by maintenance or whatever, or there was already things in the works that the resort is planning that we shouldn't fund this current project because it would be something that is probably going to change in a year or 2. So hopefully that clarifies what we did. So you have any questions?
I would just like to say briefly that this is a brand new club and they have been working Thank you. This is a brand new committee and they have really been working tirelessly since they started, meeting every week and having off meetings in between their whole committee meetings to try to get this in place. So now when we have club requests, there will be a process, and it will be the same process for every request from every club will be vetted through this committee. I want to thank them for everything that they've done. Greg, you're up.
Are we up? Move to approve. Greg Sherman, I move to approve the request for payment. Page 32. Did I miss one?
The committee members for safety.
Oh, right. Greg Sherman, I move to approve Jack Besham, Andreas Slocum, and Doug Doty as members of the Safety Committee and Bob Pearson as a non-voting member.
I'll make it second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Old business. We have a request to approve change classification for Hamburger Golf Group from chartered to non-chartered. I, Jennifer Ellswick, move to change the classification for the Hamburger Golf Group from chartered to non-chartered. Second,
I second it.
any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jennifer, you skipped the landscape committee's draft charter approval.
Skip it.
You skipped it.
I, Fred Rand, approve the Landscape Committee draft charter.
I'll second. Are there any questions about the charter? Board, any questions? Audience, any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to move to approve Fred Rand as board treasurer.
I second. Are there any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, I also move to approve Cliff Giroux as board secretary.
Second.
Does the board have any questions? Any questions from the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I, Fred Rand, move to approve the 2025-2026 operating budget and the annual owner assessment for 2025-26 fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2025.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Board, any questions from the board?
This is a 6% increase on our dues.
It is. Any other questions from the board? Do I have any questions from the audience?
Donna Wisdom 379. Can somebody please tell me when this is going into effect? I'm sorry?
July 1st?
Okay, thank you.
Chuck Garvey, Lot 354. I like to have the board reconsider the pass-through charges for the sewer to match the city of Surprise of $13.75. There, in the assessment, there's an extra 62 cents for past due assessments on the budget, and I feel that the pass-through should have been done at the current time that the city of Surprise had applied the charge.
Please, Becca.
Thank you. Bill had asked me to be here. Oh, Becca Paulson, 1424, sorry. I haven't done this before from this angle. I've done it from the other angle. Bill Powell asked me to address any issues that came up about the budget. The 62 cents was assessed mid-year last year. We had already done the assessment for the sewer in the budget process, and this did not come through until later. So we were underfunded last year, not anything that we did. Our budget was due before the city put through their charge for the year. So what we'd like to do is make up that 62 cents this year with the sewer water budget. And then from here on out, our fiscal year and the cities are the same. Therefore, we'll be in alignment and it will be exactly what they say the charges will be, which are going up 5% each year for the next 5 years.
Thank you, Becca. Any other questions from the audience?
Marla Festinese, Lot 2323. Are we talking about 62 cents in the budget? That's it?
Per lot. It's 62 cents per lot.
Okay, nobody said that. Would have been nice.
Any other questions from the audience?
We're going to do a roll call vote. Cindy Evans,
Yes.
Cliff Giroux,
Yes.
Fred Rand,
Yes.
Greg Sherman,
No.
Jennifer Ellswick.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 4-5. I'm sorry, 4-1.
I move to make a motion to approve the ad hoc village committee.
I second it.
Is there any discussion from the board on this committee? Would anybody?
Can you tell us how long we're approving this for?
The length of the ad hoc committee would be for 1 year. The reason for the ad hoc committee is probably multifold, but we will go with the most obvious. The villas pay an extra charge that the rest of the resort does not pay, and the ad hoc committee has been formed so that anyone in the villas can come to the ad hoc committee with their questions or concerns, and the ad hoc committee can then bring those questions and concerns to the proper place for consideration, be it the board, be it management, be it the landscape committee, or be it BG&M. So that rather than one person from the villas coming and saying, da, 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 this will be, for lack of a better word, the voice of the villas coming through the villas ad hoc committee. The reason that we are going with a longer length than what would be considered a normal length of time for an ad hoc committee is because right now, as we all know, and we are sitting in this room, we're at the point where many people leave the resort for the summer. So we would get a little bit of a disconnect with people not being here over the summer. And second of all, the board felt that we wanted to give the villas people the opportunity to hear every one of their questions or concerns, so that a year from now, we will have heard and answered and addressed everything that they are wanting, that we are capable of addressing. And Cliff, if you have additional, please add.
Well, I was just going to say that the committee delineated its priorities as patron safety and accessibility, private property and investment protection, common property, functionality and maintenance, and aesthetics. And being in the villas, we do need a voice there from a committee to help us achieve some of the common goals that we have over there, but stay within the guidelines of Happy Trails.
Any other from the board? Do I have any questions from the audience?
Donna Wisdom, 379. About this ad hoc committee, a year is a pretty long time. Ad hocs are for special projects, not for what you're asking for. If it was a special project like the landscaping, which is what I understood it was supposed to be for when I was at the planning meeting, now they've added a bunch of other stuff. I think a 3-month ad hoc would be sufficient. And if they had to add a month, then maybe they could. But right now, I think the major problem was, correct me if I'm wrong, because I was in that meeting, that people aren't liking the way their landscaping is being done. And if that's the fact, I know that Brad said that the land was divided and everybody has their lots, and the owners are responsible for their property just as we are outside of the villa. And I know you guys pay extra. I do understand that. But the fact is that I think that what we should do is make sure the boundaries are clear, which I understand they're not, for each property. And then once that's established, then they can decide on the groundkeeping, which if somebody wants them to come up in their property, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too. But maybe there should be a sign-up list. Yes, please come and do my property. No, do not come into my property, that type of thing. But I think 3 months is plenty of time to ask questions, even if they send them in by email or whatever, if they're not there. This is my personal opinion, but I think that that's the way it should be, because an ad hoc is not a year-long project. It's a short-term, to the point, and that's what it's all about. Just my personal opinion.
In response to that, right now they're over there doing drainage stuff because we have a drainage problem. And I believe that drainage situation is going to take at least 3 months for them to complete what they need to do over there before we can start doing anything else, to even talk about landscaping, because they're going to be tearing up a whole bunch of it to get the drainage taken care of. So By the time you hit that 3 months,
But during that 3 months, people could come to you with questions.
they could,
I mean, let's face it.
but
I
we
mean,
couldn't
they're not
answer
going to
them.
wait till the drainage done. As far as I remember, I've been here almost 6 years now. There's always been a drainage problem over there, like everywhere else. So if you want questions about the landscaping, which is what an ad hoc should be, what I understood the ad hoc was going to be, then it should be a shorter term than a year. I just really have an issue with it being a year long. I mean, that makes it a committee, not an ad hoc committee. So maybe you guys need to rename it to a committee. But there's a lot of other places that could use a committee too, so just saying.
Thank you, Donna. Any other questions from the audience?
Good afternoon, Roberta Ernest, 712996. I have to reiterate what Donna said, is that truly an ad hoc is for a specific event, not a variety of items that you have mentioned, and you even talked about investment security. So I'm kind of concerned about that, so I reiterate what she said. But based on your comment, Cliff, about the drainage study, and I agree, those take a little bit of time, then hold off on the ad hoc committee until the drainage study is done. We know that the villas have a monthly meeting anyways, and that's probably not happening during the summertime, I would assume. Or maybe you meet during once a month? Okay, so you can still collect data if you need to, but I'm saying hold off the ad hoc until after you get done with the drainage, and then determine exactly what it is that you're expecting the villas to gather for you and what the ad hoc is exactly about. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberta.
Yeah, my name's Al Runyon. I'm lot 1030. I'd like somebody to reiterate what it says in Robert's Rules of Orders. If there's a time limit specified by them, I have it in front of me if you want me to read it to you. My point was to ask about Robert's Rules of Order because that's what most meetings run by. And using them and what they suggest would make more sense than what we feel. Sorry. Ad hoc committee is a committee appreciated as need arises to carry out a specific task and a completion of task that is presented a final report.
Excuse, Al, we need you to hold the microphone up to your face, please.
There's nothing that speaks to a duration of time, whether it be 3 months, 6 months, or 6 years. That is my point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have any other questions from the audience? I will call for the vote.
Can I ask you, if you're going to put a time limit on that, can you amend your motion, please, to include that time?
Amend the motion.
If you can amend your motion to include the time limit that you are asking for, so we can get that in the minutes.
I believe it was a year, wasn't it? Yes.
That wasn't part of the motion, though,
Yeah.
so we need to add that into the motion.
Okay. Make a motion that it is for a year's time, a period of time.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you all.
I, Cliff Giroux, move to make a motion to approve the amended Phoenix roofing proposal in the amount not to exceed $534,000
To be paid out of reserves.
to be paid out of reserves.
Second.
Question?
Board, any questions, comments? Okay. Audience, questions?
Kathy Stark, Lot 1405. I understood during the presentation from the committee that they were asking for that not to exceed value to be raised because of the increased costs of the metals based on recent political governmental changes. And they were asking, I can't remember who spoke to it, but weren't you asking for more like 60,000, not 50,000?
So I can kind of help out there. There was
Okay.
when we initially started with this bid, we got a bid of 479,500. Now that did not include the cascade foaming part of the roof. Us and the BGM were still discovering what to do with that roof. We discovered that it needed minor repairs with the foaming and then the fascia repairs. So we went on with the bid with Phoenix Roofing to get a bid for the foaming. Now as that happened, we discovered a leak over the mail center. And in order to fix that, we of course got a bid for 2,300 square feet of the foaming roof. Now to be clear, the metal that was replaced over the mail center did not include that foam. So they're two separate scopes of work. The foaming was not done over the mail center, just the metal was. So with one of the last rains we just had, we discovered that there was a leak over the mail center. So we added that to the bid. And then we got a 25,000 upcharge in the tax for the metal. So that brings it, around 55 is what we're asking for, not to exceed the full amount of 534,000.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't an A column and it wasn't her B column. Thank you.
Nope.
Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? Roll call.
Okay.
Hold on, was there something on the chat, Dave?
Roll call vote. Cindy Evans,
Yes.
Cliff Giroux,
Yes.
Fred Rand,
Yes.
Greg Sherman,
Yes.
Jennifer Ellswick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Greg Sherman, I move to approve owner's request for payment of initial estimate in the amount of $1,163.50 to damage to their motorhome.
A second?
Board, do you have any questions, any discussion before we go to the,
I do believe the resident that is requesting this is here. Al, if you want to step up to the podium, please. Well, we have folks online that need to hear you as well. Yes, sorry. Just hold it up close to your mouth. There you
All
go.
right.
Like an ice cream
Does that work? Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name's Al Runyon, lot 1030. We were returning in February and coming through the front main gate with our motorhome. It's a 45-foot Newmar King Air. I have a 24-foot trailer behind it, and there were cars backed up. And I looked at the sign that was saying residents this way and motorhomes this way. Thank you. Yeah. And I pull up through and I'm watching the guards running around. And I'm looking in the right-hand mirror and I see one of them pulling away the sign that says motorhomes this way. Okay. We got back. It was late. We wanted to get into our site beforehand. I noticed the damage. There's a streak that runs the same height as the sign all the way down the side of our motorhome. I have an expectation of safe ingress and safe entrance to the property. I've seen that sign anywhere from 6 inches into the RV lane to 6 inches over into the driving lane. And so I contacted Newmar to have an estimate. I sent them the pictures that they requested. I've sent you, Bradley, the pictures you requested. That's what they gave me for an initial estimate. We will be there in July, and they will take another look at it. And if it's more than that, they will let me know. But that is the amount currently.
And I did share the pictures with the board, so all the board has had a chance to review and look at the pictures as well.
Other questions for me, please? This way too.
I guess perhaps I have a question, since motorhomes go in and out of our resort constantly, almost, it seems, particularly at this time of year. And your motorhome is the first motorhome that actually hit a sign or post or anything. I'm not quite understanding that.
Obviously, it was not far enough out of the way to come through that lane. And I have a reasonable expectation that I can drive in and out without damage. I know there are plenty of locations around the country where any damage that is caused by a roadway or entranceway is compensated for by either the municipality, the business, or the individual. And I'm asking for the same thing here.
I need to ask, did we have any other incidences of any damage to any other vehicles ever or in a time frame?
Not that I'm aware in that location, and it's not with that sign.
Thank you. Yes. Hi, I'm Tamara Runyon, lot 1030. Al and I are married, obviously. So it's my bus too. My bus too. The thing I want to point out to you is that the sign is movable. It moves every day. The guards put it out and it moves around. And clearly what happened today, what happened on that day, was it got moved over into the lane. And that's why it ran a scratch all the way down our bus from about 3 feet in, you know. So I wanted to make sure you knew it wasn't a stationary sign that did it. So that the question of, well, why has nobody else ever hit this sign before, doesn't apply because it moves.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
So I'm curious, when this sign was, when you hit the sign, when it was scraping the motorhome, was it not making a noise?
Call for the vote?
Okay, roll call vote. Cindy Evans,
No.
Cliff Giroux,
Yes.
Fred Rand,
No.
Greg Sherman,
Yes.
Jennifer Ellswick.
No.
Motion did not pass 2-3. Thank you.
Greg Sherman, I move to approve the Safety Committee's request for changes to signage within the community.
I second that.
Board questions?
Can we get more? So how many signs in total are we talking?
So Barb Fugelberg, Lot 205, I'm a member of the Safety Committee, and I lead this ad hoc group. The total number of signs would be the stop signs on Happy Trails Boulevard and Trigger, Happy Trails Boulevard and Dale Evans, Happy Roy Rogers and Nellie Bell, and Dale Evans and Mustang. So there's 4, 8, 16, there'd be a total of 18 new stop signs.
Do we have a cost on those?
The cost on those, unfortunately, is it's not cheap. Those are probably at least $65 to $125 each, based on the size that you get and the amount of reflectivity. So all of this, some people may think that this recommendation is rather, it doesn't really get at the issue of enforcement, but the subcommittee really felt it was important to make sure that we were consistent with the city of Surprise in their recommendations, because they actually did come out here and do a walkthrough through, and it was their recommendation as they did the tour that our signs are inconsistent both in size and height, and that if we want to enforce any rules that we need to at least have that in there. So the signs would be 30 inches with a high-intensity reflective aluminum, and the poles would be at 6 feet tall. Don't believe that any poles would need to be done, but these signs are probably, maybe they're 40 years old, maybe they're original issue. Reflectivity usually goes out after 10 years, and so that's why we're asking for the signs. And so there'd be that many at minimum of $60 a piece.
So are there other signs you want as well? I saw golf cart crossing signs.
Those would be additional signs that probably also run about $75 a piece. So the all the things that the City of Surprise, through Tom Kirkles, who's a member of our committee, and other committee members met with the City of Surprise. They also asked that we add pedestrian crosswalks. You'd see that another item, in that they felt from a safety in our community, we don't have any crosswalks at all, and that we know that our residents cross the street a lot. And so that's paint. The pedestrian crosswalks, I'm going to be alerting people that there's a pedestrian coming up. So there'd be 2, 3, 4, 7, at least probably 12 or more of those signs would need to go up. Asking for speed limit signs to be added. And when we looked at the number of speed limits that throughout the community, even on Happy Trails Boulevard, there are probably only 2 speed limit signs on that entire road. And if we're going to have to if we want to get to the point of enforcement, we need to remind people what the speed limits are. And so we're asking that a speed limit sign be added to each one of those stop signs that get put in. So the 4-way stop, there'd be 2 on each 4-way stop, because it's on Happy Trails Boulevard and or Roy Rogers. And that we be adding 15-mile-an-hour speed limit signs at the corner of the entrance of every neighborhood, because it's not clear on the neighborhoods that it changes from 20 to 15, particularly down Dale Evans. Given that the size that Dale Evans feels is the size of Happy Trails Boulevard or Roy Rogers, people think it's 20 miles per hour. So there'll be additional signs there, and we can get that for you. And then at every, one of the things the committee members felt was that it isn't clear to particularly visitors coming in that we've got golf cart crossing paths. We've got golf cart lanes, but we also have golf cart crossing paths, and it's not clearly marked. And they want signs that has the golf cart and a sign that says golf cart crossing on it to differentiate it from a golf cart lane. And then the main thing we're asking, well, not the main thing, probably Brad's going to be doing some investigation of how much it costs. The main thing is that we're asking for painting on all asphalt be with highway grade paint, so that it doesn't rub off in 2 weeks. And then we're also asking that the curves throughout the neighborhoods, there'd be a curve, that there'd be painted a line on the curve of every neighborhood, because the committee felt that we've got fairly long straight roads throughout the neighborhoods, and it comes up to a curve, and that's where a couple of our accidents have occurred, because people don't stay on their side of the road. So we can get you a final count of the total numbers and the total cost, but it's going to be potentially upwards of $10,000 if we consider all the paint that would need to occur also.
Barb, first of all, I want to thank you for all of the work that the ad hoc committee has done on this. Hello. First of all, Barb, I want to thank the ad hoc committee for all of the work that you've done on this. But you're going to have to forgive this question. I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you asking for permission to continue pursuing to get a price to bring before the board? That's my question.
Yes, if you could at least get a price on this. If these are our recommendations for all the changes that ad hoc committee feel are important to increase awareness, so that we eventually can get to the point of getting to enforcement.
Okay, so basically you're asking for the board to approve you looking into all of these things and getting a cost on each of these things?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Because the cost varies based on size. So that's why we're recommending 30 inches. 36 is about $125 a sign. So.
Are you talking about replacing the post also from the ground up?
That we'll have to work with Brad on that. We think that there are a number of them are will suffice at that.
Right, yeah, we're gonna, as we go through and replace them, if they can be reused, of course we will, but depending on the condition of one, we won't know until we see it, so.
Top of the sign at 6 feet, bottom of the sign at 6 feet.
Bottom of the sign at 6 feet. And that's when the City of Surprise did the walkthrough with us. They really noted that we had significant differences throughout the communities, even at a four-way stop.
We have some questions.
They don't stop now, even ones painted on blacktop. I think that was referring to the stop signs. The second question is, from what account will this cost come from? I think that was answered. We're still working toward that solution.
Right.
And then the third question, how many signs and dollars are we talking about? Need to see a total number.
Right. We'll get to that point. The question regarding, well, they're not stopping now, so what makes us think that they would stop in the future? And that is something that the committee has talked about a lot, in that probably every single person in this room always stops at all of the stop signs. It's only, well, it's the seasonal people that don't stop at the stop signs. And we know that people believe that the signs refer to someone else and not themselves. But we're hoping to get to the point where people will have accountability for themselves. Either that or Fred and I will be out there with paintballs. So we know that there's the potential that this might not work. At the same token, as a community, we feel that we need to make sure we've done everything we can to make sure that they're aware of it and that it's consistent.
Any other questions for Barb from the audience?
Donna Wisdom, 379. And just so you know, my husband was on this ad hoc, and me and him have been going around and around and around about this stuff. The painting on the street for the stops that don't have stop signs need to be bigger and definitely fluorescent so that people can see it at night. And I might have a solution for the stop sign or the speed limit signs. Why don't we do what a lot of places do and paint the speed limit on the road and on both sides, in especially on Darrell Evans, that go back and forth. At least 2 or 3 places on Dale Evans, big, like 15 mile an hour.
The board has in their board packet a list of all that stuff, and that is included in it, the height of the speed limit signs.
Thank you.
They have it, the height of the speed limit is listed on the second
Thank
page
you,
of the
Donna.
speed limit sign. And then you add at least on each street, that it's on the round on each street going both ways. And based on the length of the street, there might be a couple that would need to occur on that. And Donna, your husband is on the committee, so he has a vote on that committee.
I just kind of want to piggyback on that if I can. I'm working with Frank's Consulting to get some of that striping figured out. We have seal coat happening in down Dale Evans and then a couple other sections. So I want to make sure we get that seal coat first before striping. And then we're going to look into striping, which we've talked about extensively. And yes, we're looking at bigger font for the stop bars, more paint lines. Everything you're saying is everything we're working toward.
Thank you, Barb.
Marilyn Klein, 392. I've noticed in the last 2 paintings, it's not sticking. And the minute they paint, even though they take down 2 or 3 months later, you can't see it. You can see it build up by the curb, but it doesn't stay on the road. And that's not right. So I find a paint that sticks. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more, and that's exactly what we're working toward. Unfortunately, the material that we get our hands on is not the best, and you can see the quality that happens, and that's why we're reaching out now to a third party. I'm working with Frank's Consulting. They are the ones that have helped with the asphalt, so we can at least see what kind of paint would work best with the asphalt that we have. Of course, high intensity reflective and brighter colors, and yes, yeah, we are working toward that, absolutely.
Do we need to amend the motion so it's clearer to us what we're approving? That we're not approving signs at this point, we're approving the investigation of signs? I think the signs are not a bad thing. I think having the whole packet and understanding our full cost will be important.
I move to approve or amend the motion for the signage on the property for exploratory cost.
Second. Additional discussion from the board? Additional discussion from the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I move to approve striping of a pedestrian lane down Roy Rogers at no cost to the association.
Second.
I second it.
I'm going to ask that Bradley give us a little bit of information about this, please.
Sure. Working with the striping and the safety committee, we realized that there's always been an issue with no sidewalk down Roy Rogers and into the parking lot at Town Center for that fact. So, tossing ideas back and forth. Of course, laying a concrete over there is expensive. So we came up with an idea of doing a striping pedestrian lane that's 48 inches wide from the curve. So it kicks the golf carts out to the lane with everybody else and creates a specific lane for pedestrians only. Now it's 48 inches from the curve that will stretch from the Roy Rogers gate all the way up to the Town Center entrance here by the pickleball courts, and then into the Town Center right by the pickleball courts where the sidewalk picks up. Now, going back and forth with the cost, Copper State, since they decided to take their time, are doing this at no cost to the community. So this is something that is not costing us anything, and we're looking at it as a test strip to see how we can, improve the pedestrian safety. I'm also including some sidewalks that go from, across Roy Rogers from section 6 to 8, and then down toward Pat Brady as well. So we're excited about it. It's going to be a good thing, I think. Well, right, but we're taking it down to the pickleball courts where the sidewalk is, and that's where we're going to go right now and use that as our test strip and then modify and go forward as needed.
Do I have questions from the board? I have one question. Did you mention at one point they were going to put up the little orange?
Yes, we're going to work on that after the fact. Yeah, we're going to work on that after the fact. The number of the bullards that we wanted up was creating some confusion, so we're going to work on that and work on a number and get that set up as well.
So my other question in tying with that, these little boy things, I have seen many of them in the 120-degree Arizona heat, like just kind of flop over. So I just want to be careful that we don't create an additional either walking or driving hazard if these little boy things do plop.
Right, and that's kind of the situation with them. I mean, you can see them. We have them over in the mail center. Once they're initially up, they're good, but summer here in Phoenix, they take a beating. So it would be a cost that would be have to be a maintenance cost that would be every year probably replaced and or maintenance.
Okay, thank you. But they are not part of what we're approving now.
Correct.
Thank you.
And then there is a question, I believe, what we discovered was the color yellow showed up much better on the streets. Yes, so the yellow is going to be the color of the pedestrian lane. And again, it's going to be 48 inches from the curb out into the roadway, and then it's going to be striped within the pedestrian lane. So all the stencil that's in there now will be blacked out and painted over, so it will no longer say golf cart lane. It's going to be strictly pedestrian lane, again, with slashes of yellow paint down all of Roy Rogers. Yes, we are looking at striping. This, again, is a test strip for the pedestrian lane, and we're working with the safety committee and the BGM committee to do a full-on striping. Costs are going to be coming soon. I'm working with Frank's Consulting. Again, we have seal coat coming first. I would like to get that done before restripe.
Who's doing the striping?
Copper State.
Is that the people that did our asphalt recently?
Correct.
And they understand that they're willing to do this?
Absolutely. I have it signed and everything.
Do I have any other questions from the audience? I'll call for the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We have no variances, and the next part of the agenda is the president's message. So I am going to stand for this because I have a lot of things in this message that I wish to impart. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming. I certainly appreciate you, those of you who come meeting in, meeting out. Thank you. Last month during the president's message, I mentioned our annuities and told you I would have an update on the annuities. I am going to read you two documents, and that should explain at least where we are today. The first is from HomeCo, and it is a recommendation for our annuities. HomeCo recommends that the board formally authorize the transfer and oversight of the association's Athene annuities to HomeCo, enabling us to act as the managing agent of these two investment accounts on the board's behalf for contract numbers ending in 3050 and 3058. As of today, and this is as of today, the 10th, the early withdrawal penalties for the two Athene annuities are as follows. The one ending in 3050, maturing September 19th, 2025, is $34,809. The one ending in 3058, maturing September 19th, 2027, is $30,212.50. Given these significant penalty amounts, HomeCo does not recommend early liquidation. Instead, we strongly advise that the board allow the annuities to remain in place until their respective maturity dates. Preserving these investments through maturity avoids a combined loss of $65,021.50 in penalties and protects the association's reserve funds. As the annuities mature, HomeCo will work closely with the board to review the association's projected reserve expenditures and cash flow needs. Based on this analysis, we will recommend a staggered certificate of deposit, CD, investment strategy that aligns with anticipated funding requirements while maximizing interest earnings. This approach offers a structured, low-risk plan that prioritizes both liquidity and long-term financial health. And this was respectively submitted by Sarah Scott, the Executive Vice President at HomeCo. That is their recommendation. I wish to give you some additional information. I'm sorry. Please sit down. Thank you. I wish to give you some additional information. The contract number ending in 3050 was issued on 9/19/2022. The contract number ending in 3058 was issued on 9/19/2022. The contract dollar amount for each of the annuities was $500,000. The interest rate on the 3050 for 3-year fixed, interest earned in 871 days was $51,310.86. Contract number ending in 3058, interest rate of 4.40, 5-year fixed, $58,110.68, interest earned in 871 days. The current dollar amount of these annuities is 3050, $551,310.86. Contract number 3058, current total amount $558,110.68. 3050, maturing 9/19/2025, and 3058, maturing 9/19/2027. The penalties I already gave you, but 3050, $34,809, and 3058, $30,102. We will be discussing these annuities with the recommendation at the board planning meeting on May 1st, 2025. You are welcome if you wish to join us at the planning meeting. I would ask that you please bring your comments and questions to the May board meeting when the motion to approve this recommendation is on the floor for discussion. Thank you. And now, as the season winds down at Happy Trails, I have some thank yous. Thank you, Happy Trails volunteers, those who have regularly scheduled volunteer hours, and those who volunteer when and where needed. Thank you. Thank you, committee members and officers. You are the researchers who work tirelessly to bring proposals to the board. If you are not on a committee currently, please consider filling out an application to serve on a committee. There are forms on the sign-in table. Thank you, activities. You bring the fun. Extra kudos this year for the 40th anniversary celebration. Thank you, staff, both in the office and outside. You keep us rolling. Thank you, management. You keep all the balls in the air. Thank you, Board of Directors, for your time, often more than 40 hours per week, energy, and commitment to making Happy Trails great. I am looking forward to a year where we continue to move ahead together. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I just want to remind you all that we have another Meet the Candidates tonight at 6 o'clock. So if you are here in the resort, please come and join us. We will be asking the candidates questions, and then we will also open it up to residents if they have any questions. Okay. Again, like Jennifer said, thank you all. Thank you, former board members and past board members, for all your support and all that you do to help keep this community running. I also want to thank all the staff. We have a great staff here that we work with, and they are continually working to keep this place in order as much as possible. Sometimes it gets a little hectic, but we continue to move forward. So thank you all. And thank you all for being here. For all of you that are going to be leaving, I know we've had quite a few already leave. We do have some more leaving within the next couple weeks. Wish you all safe travels, and we will see you at the next season. Thank you all. For all you that are staying, thank you for staying with us through the heat. And I want to turn it over. Oh, you want to? Okay. I want to turn it over to Fred so we can close with prayer.
Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this resort and the blessings that you give each and every one of us. Father, without you, our life would be empty. We thank you for your love. We ask that you bless each and every person that lives here in the community, those traveling and those staying. Give us guidance every day and help us overcome all things. Through your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
The April 10th HTCA board meeting is adjourned with the board directors moving into executive session.
Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again. Some trails are happy ones,
Others are blue. It's the way you ride the trail that counts. Here's a happy one for you.
happy trails to you.
Until we meet again.
Happy trails to you.
Keep smiling until then.
Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then.
Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet again. Happy trails.